The UK is set to introduce some of the toughest immigration rules in recent history, and they could force millions of migrants to leave the country in 2025. From extending the residency requirement for settlement to stricter financial conditions, tougher visa rules, and bans on certain refugees, these changes will make it harder than ever for foreign workers, students, and families to stay in the UK. The government argues that these policies are necessary to control migration and reduce pressure on public services, but they come at a cost. Thousands of skilled workers and long-term residents may be forced out. In this video, we'll break down the new immigration rules, who they affect, and why so many people could be leaving the UK in 2025. 1. Extending the residency requirement for settlement. One of the most significant changes to UK immigration rules is the extension of the residency requirement for indefinite leave to remain, ILR, from 5 years to 10 years. Previously, many migrants, including skilled workers and professionals, could apply for permanent settlement after 5 years of legal residence. However, under the new policy, they will now need to wait twice as long while continuing to meet strict financial and legal criteria. This change puts immense pressure on visa holders, as they must maintain continuous employment, meet salary thresholds, and avoid legal issues for an extended period. Those who fail to meet these conditions risk losing their residency status and being forced to leave the country. Many long-term residents who had planned their future in the UK may now reconsider their options, leading to a significant exodus of skilled workers and professionals who are unwilling or unable to endure the prolonged process. 2. Stricter financial requirements. The UK government is implementing stricter financial requirements for migrants, ensuring that only those who are financially self-sufficient can remain in the country. Under the new rules, migrants must demonstrate that they are net contributors to the economy, meaning they cannot rely on public benefits, social housing, or government support. Additionally, the minimum salary threshold for work visas and settlement applications is being raised, making it more difficult for lower-income workers to qualify. Many migrants working in essential sectors such as healthcare, retail, and hospitality may struggle to meet these financial demands, forcing them to either find higher-paying jobs or leave the UK altogether. These measures are intended to reduce the economic burden of migration, but they could have unintended consequences, such as creating labor shortages in key industries. As a result, many hard-working migrants may be unable to renew their visas and could be forced to leave. 3. Ban on settlement for many refugees and asylum seekers. The UK government is introducing a ban on settlement for most refugees and asylum seekers, restricting permanent residency only to those from Afghanistan, Ukraine, and Hong Kong. This means that refugees from conflict zones, oppressive regimes, and unstable regions who have sought protection in the UK will have no pathway to long-term security. Many asylum seekers have spent years rebuilding their lives, learning English, and integrating into British society, only to now face uncertainty and potential deportation. Without the right to settle permanently, they will struggle to access stable jobs, housing, and essential services, leaving them in a precarious legal status. The government argues that these changes are necessary to prioritize economic migration over humanitarian immigration, but critics warn that it will lead to the forced removal of thousands who have nowhere safe to return. These strict policies could result in mass deportations in 2025. 4. Restrictions on family visas and sponsorships. The UK is tightening restrictions on family reunification visas, making it much harder for migrants to bring their spouses, children, or dependents to the country. One of the biggest changes is the increase in the minimum salary threshold for sponsoring family members, which will disproportionately affect those working in lower-income sectors such as healthcare, social work, and hospitality. Many migrants who were planning to bring their families to the UK may now find it impossible due to financial constraints, forcing them to choose between living apart from their loved ones or leaving the UK altogether. These policies could lead to an exodus of workers who would rather relocate to countries with more lenient family reunification policies. The government sees these measures as a way to control immigration numbers, but they also risk breaking up families and pushing out skilled migrants who no longer see the UK as a viable long-term home. 5. General crackdown on legal and illegal migration. The UK government is taking a harsher stance on both legal and illegal migration, introducing stricter visa renewal requirements, increasing enforcement measures, and raising salary thresholds for work permits. The government aims to reduce dependence on low-skilled foreign labor, encouraging businesses to hire more British workers instead. Additionally, there are plans to deport visa overstayers and undocumented migrants at a faster rate, with new border security measures making it harder for people to stay in the UK illegally. Even legal migrants who fail to meet new conditions may find themselves at risk of being denied visa renewals or permanent residency applications, leading to thousands of forced departures. While the government argues that these policies will help regain control over immigration, critics warn that they could create labor shortages in key sectors and push out skilled workers who can no longer meet the new legal requirements. 6. Political and economic pressures driving policy changes. The UK government is under immense political and economic pressure to reduce immigration, particularly following Brexit and growing public concerns over jobs, housing shortages, and access to public services. Many voters believe that high immigration levels have contributed to economic strain, leading to stricter policies aimed at curbing migration numbers. Additionally, anti-immigration rhetoric from political parties has led to policies that favor British workers over foreign nationals, even if it means forcing out skilled migrants. The government's approach prioritizes short-term political gains over long-term economic stability, potentially harming industries that rely on foreign workers, such as healthcare, construction, and education. These political decisions may force thousands, if not millions, of migrants to leave in 2025, as they find it increasingly difficult to meet the stricter immigration rules. In the long run, these measures could reshape the UK's workforce and economy, with unintended negative consequences.